2019 is proud to present the world's lightest electric hypercar, the most powerful production car in the world, the world's first British electric hypercar, the all-new Lotus Evija. Please welcome Lotus CEO Phil Popham.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lotus stand. The Evija, it's already making a huge splash around the world. Prior to this global public debut, we actually showed it in London 2 or 3 weeks ago to the press, and it's been phenomenal response. We're only going to be building maximum of 130 of these cars to be true to its type number. This is type 130. Every Lotus in our 70-year history, as become an engineering program, has had a type number. This is type 130. We're really proud of the car already. It really is a technical tour de force. A number of world firsts already announced, and there will be more to come from this car. It's a huge stake in the ground for Lotus. First in quite a while, and the first since Geely acquired a controlling interest in Lotus, Geely being the fastest growing automotive company in the world. That means we now have the funding, we now have the backing, we now have the confidence to embark on a really exciting and ambitious business plan over the next few years. It starts with this car, with Evija. It is our halo, but it's also going to be our store window. It's going to showcase our design, our technology, and our engineering capability. Now, to deliver this really exciting and ambitious business plan, we've actually been bringing together a really impressive team, a team that's actually come from the world of automotive, from luxury, and from the technology worlds as well. A number of them are here with me today. Our new engineering director is from Tesla. Our marketing director has come from the super yacht industry. Our sales director has worked with exclusive automotive brands around the world. Our PR director is an international award winner. I could go on. But it's not just a new team that's actually going to deliver this plan. We've got a killer combination of people that come with great experience in automotive, great experience in luxury, combined with some fantastic world-beating engineers in the performance and dynamics area, many of which have worked for Lotus for a number of years. One of those people that's worked for a long time is our design director, Russell Carr. Nearly 30 years, actually. You wouldn't think to look at him. So obviously working for Lotus does make you stay young. But I'm now going to hand over to Russell Carr, Design Director, to take you through this exciting new car. Russell, thank you.
Cheers. I think probably the lack of hair gives away the nearly 30 years at Lotus, so I apologise if it's glinting off my head into your eyes. It's been a real pleasure to work on this. It's a real dream programme to work on a hypercar. It really is, for a designer, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we've really relished it. But obviously with such a privilege comes certain responsibilities. You guys all out there are expecting this to be the best of the best performing, the best technically. It's the responsibility of my colleagues over there, but also the best visually, the most beautiful car. So we set ourselves some guidelines to help us design the car. One of the first things was the car has to be beautiful, which sounds really obvious, but when you do something as extreme as this, it's very easy sometimes to do something which is shocking but not necessarily beautiful. And as Jeremy Clarkson, our famous journalist, reminded us, there's never been an ugly Lotus, so it's in my hands to break that tradition. So I don't think we've done that with this car at all. It's really important the car's utterly contemporary. It's got the latest technology in it, and it has unique features as well, and I'll explain a few of those as I walk around the car. The other really important thing is obviously it's got to be recognisable as a Lotus. So some of that is down to some recognisable forms and lines on the cars, but it's also about combining form and function. It's very overused, but for Lotus that's really important, and all our cars tracing right the way back to the 1940s and 50s. And we think of three areas. We think about adding lightness, we think about driving dynamics, and we think about aerodynamics. So as a designer, if you can incorporate those, improve the performance in those areas, and express those in the design, then I think you've created something with real intrinsic value. And one of the key things on this car, as I walk around the car, is the aerodynamics. So we at an early stage decided that we would harness the airflow through the car as well as over the exterior surfaces, which is something that a lot of racing cars do. Now technically that's really good. It helps reduce drag. It also, in some places, also improves downforce. But visually what's exciting about it is it gives us a new sculptural language. We talked about it being carved by air. And all these holes and pockets you see on the car really draw your eye through the vehicle, give it something very unique to look at. First of all, though, as we look at it, you can see this is a car with great proportions, great starts, hunkered down cabin, really strong muscular arches on it, very taut, agile, athletic. The car, not me, we're talking about when we say that. So moving front to back, you can see here in the front corners where you'd normally have radiators, this is completely open. And this is the carved by air, the porosity, as the aerodynamicists talk about it, that allows the air to pass through the wheel arch and be evacuated behind the wheel, reducing drag, but also creating visual drama. Your eye is drawn through that. And it exposes all these beautiful technical elements, the multi-element splitter, spoiler at the front. You can see all the suspension components there. So a real blend of art and science, form and function. This is repeated at the back here, where you can see the air is ducted through here and then over the screen and takes up a nice wing formation. So as you can imagine, on a high performance car, lots of references to aircraft as well. Something again very overused, but on this car, something which has to go through the air at high speed, very, very important. Some lovely luxury details as well on the car. So we've got metal inlaid to carbon. The whole body on the car is carbon, as is the tub. But this is a real nice mixture of craftsmanship and technology, something that Britain can boast in both areas. We're world renowned for motorsport, aerospace, but also some bespoke tailoring and jewellery design. So a little bit of that on there for the customer. And this could be specified with titanium or silver or gold or whatever the customer would like. Moving around to the side, we see the modern technology I talked about. So we've got laser lights in here. This is a first to use laser for main and dip. And we have some beautiful design elements in here, wing shapes again for the direction indicator and also the daylight running lights. So something very special, unique. Moving here, the front haunch of the car, real design characteristic for a lot of Lotuses and really important because when you sit inside the car, you can see the corners of the vehicle, so you can place it very precisely on the road. But it also gives the car great muscularity. Moving to the side here, you'll notice this is completely clean here. We have no traditional mirror, and that's because we have cameras that deploy and screens inside. So we're right at the cutting edge of introducing that. If you love cars and you look from this angle, what you'll see is a lot of tyre. Now, I think anyone who likes sports or racing cars gets very exciting seeing tyre, but it's not there just there for a visual reason, it's there for functional reasons. So form and function again, evacuates the air, reduces drag and reduces lift on the car as well. Moving to the side of the car here, you start seeing some very extravagant sculpture. You can imagine we had a lot of fun in the studio making this model. This was really exciting. And the shapes here are a little bit reminiscent of looking at the front view of a fighter plane, maybe an F-16 as the section rolls off the canopy into the fuselage. So a nice little reference there. And then we start building towards the big story of the car, which is the rear end. You can see a huge intake here. Now this doesn't have a radiator in it. This is a Venturi. So this is all about reducing drag and energizing the diffuser at the back of the car, improving downforce. And of course, it's just a great piece of sculpture as well. It draws your eye through the car. And what you really see, for those, you can't see it from here, but I encourage you to look from the rear. It leads to the killer view of the car, which is the rear view, which is where you see the extraction vents for this Venturi at the rear. Very, very distinctive, very unique. The extraction vents are bounded by the rear lights, ribbon rear lights, which is very, very unique. Gives the car a really distinctive view, and from the rear the car just has a phenomenal stance, very muscular, hunkered down wide as you'd expect a car like that. Standing here you can look through, even though this is pure EV, you can see lots of exciting technology. You can see the inboard suspension and you can see the top of the battery pack, so there's plenty of soul in the car. We talk about technology with soul, and it's really important on here. Everywhere you look there's those features. So that's the exterior. And the drama continues when you look at the interior. When you stand here, you're presented with something completely different as a dashboard. It's not a solid surface, it's completely open, and we have a beam of carbon, a wing-shaped beam. Now that beam is a little bit reminiscent of some classic racing cars, maybe a Maserati third page where you used to see the tubes through the screen. but it's also entirely modern. So it's carbon fibre, shaped a little bit like a suspension component, very light. It also allows light to travel through it, so it gives completely different ambience in the cabin. And it's very Lotus because that part does two jobs. One is it's the structure that supports the column, and secondly it carries all the ducting for the vents, so it's a nice design feature in there. When you get inside the car, we'll have the doors open up here. A little bit of theatre. Wearing the car, you feel at one with the vehicle. So that's really important. Everything's very intuitively laid out. So we've kept it simple inside. It's minimal, but it's not raw. It's simple, elegant, high quality materials, carbon fibre, leather, nubuck, machined aluminium, machined titanium, lots of nice details in there, but very simple, pure, elegant. All the controls are very intuitively laid out, because if you're driving at over 200 miles an hour, you don't want to be distracted by finding controls. So in front of the driver is one single screen, no secondary screens, and that one single screen carries speed, range, your navigation, your in-car entertainment, your telephone, etc. And you interface with it either through controls in the steering wheel or through a control wheel in the centre of the console, so you never have to take your eyes off the road. Seats are a very interesting feature in the car. Very simple, elegant, lightweight design, carbon fibre frames, and then on top of it, thick padding, so very comfortable. And then a really nice detail up the centre, we've inlaid a piece of metal, which again could be titanium or aluminium, depending on customer's choice, whatever they want. And then machined into that is a little message. So on this car, it's for the drivers. We are all about being a driver's car. But of course, a customer could specify whatever they want in there. It could be the name of their children, it could be the day they won their first race, whatever they want to put on there. So something very discreet but very personal. One final nice touch inside the interior is obviously with these cameras on the outside, we have the screens inside. They're mounted in the doors and also in the roof, as you get a conventional mirror, but all very high tech. And very nice detailing as well. The switches are all recessed, so you can find those very easily with your fingers without having to look for them driving at high speed. So I apologise, it's a very quick whistle-stop tour around the car, but please come and join us later. I'd be pleased to show you around the car in more detail. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We invite you to please come up on the stand, examine the car, talk to our executive team, and thank you again for coming.
This is special. I'm being all precious here. I'm going to handshake and very all-wheel drive. They tackled the team and they accepted the challenge, and the result, in my opinion, is wonderful. And now have a look at the car.